Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to Pulaski County Fiscal Court. We've got a full house today, which is good. Before we start our meetings, we'd like to open with the Pledge of Allegiance. And this morning, I have asked Magistrate Strunk if he would be so kind as to open us. If you all would please stand.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item on our agenda is the approval of our minutes from our previous meeting. You all received a copy of those. Would there be any additions or deletions, or would entertain a motion to approve them as presented?
motion.
Second.
Motion by Strunk, second by Wilson. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We've got a few things that I've added to the agenda that are not on yours. First, trying to get something done while our state legislature is in session. Y'all remember the late Jake Ayton that was tragically struck in a vehicle accident when he was assisting another motorist. Well, today we've got his mom with us, and I've got a resolution that I'd like to propose to the court that we could pass and then send on to the state to have that Highway 1674, which is Clifty Road. We'd like to have that renamed in his memory to the SPC Jacob Cole Ayton Memorial Highway. So we've got this resolution. I'll read it to you. Whereas Jacob Cole Ayton was a graduate of Pulaski County High School, and whereas Jacob Cole Ayton served his country in the United States Army in Fort Hood, Texas, and was actively deployed to Kuwait. Whereas Jacob Cole Ayton was tragically struck and killed by a vehicle while assisting at a traffic scene. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pulaski County Fiscal Court requests the Kentucky State Legislature to name Highway 1674 in Pulaski County in his memory as SPC Jacob Cole Ayton Memorial Highway. Entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
I'll make a motion we do that.
Second.
Motion by Wilson, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, and sorry that you suffered so much through this, but we want to honor him with this. Thank you all. Next, something we've been working on for a little bit, and finally able to make a little presentation, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Miss Betty Cook came to me with this idea, and if you all remember John Langford, he was a fixture here at Fiscal Court for years and years and years. I'm sure long before I was ever involved with county government. But in this courtroom, Mr. Langford would always sit in the front right chair, which you see is missing today. But Betty asked me if we could make a dedication, and I would like to do that. And Betty, if you'd come up here, I'd like you to be a part of this. We are just going to, something simple,
I'm loving your hair,
but
Betty.
we've got Mr. Langford's chair that he sat in, and we've had just a little memorial plaque put on the back of the chair in his memory, his honor. So thank you for bringing this to the court, and the court, thank you all for allowing us to do this small gesture. And so with that said, we'll dedicate this chair to memory of John Langford. Thank you, Betty. Thank you for that. Also, something that came unexpectedly this week, we watched a demo, and I've talked to each of you about what I saw. We have a program It's called Text My Gov, and it's a very inexpensive program, actually, but it's a tool that allows us to have better communication with our public. And basically what it is, we will be assigned a number, a local number, and our public will be able to text in issues that they come across as they see them. For instance, if there's a pothole on the road, they can text the word pothole to this number, and it will trigger a response. What's the address? Do you have a picture? And it'll be back and forth communication until we have identified the problem, and then the administrators of this account can assign that to each magistrate and to the road department. If it's a tree down, we can assign the tree crew. If it's a flooding issue or a bridge washed out, we can assign it to the proper people at the road department. If it's an animal running loose or cows running loose, we can assign it to animal control to look into. And basically, it creates a ticket, if you will, of an issue, and it stays open and assigned until that problem is solved. And it's something that we'll be able to track easily, something that we'll be able to, like I said, to have better communication with our public. And they'll, since everybody's 95% of the people are on cell phones anyway, and the people that do have cell phones, 90% of them are using text. It's a very convenient way for our public to stay involved with what we're doing, and for us to be responsive and to be able to help take care of our constituents' needs more timely and more effectively. So this program would be a 2-year contract. It's a $3,000 one-time setup fee and then $6,000 a year. We can get up to 75,000 texts per year, and that's based on estimates of our population, what we would need from history from these other programs. A couple counties that are using this right now that are very high on it are Boone County. You all know Gary Moore there. And then over in Carter County, they're using it, and they love the program. I think it would be a win-win for us and for our people to be able to have this more readily available line of communication and more follow-up and trackability of the issues that we're trying to help with here. So y'all have got a copy of that. I would like to request that we get into this program and start as soon as we can. I would need a
The
motion.
number, how will you publicize the number?
We would put it on our website. I'm sure the newspaper would help us promote this, and we'll put it on our Facebook, and we'll be able to send it out in any kind of correspondence we have with the county. And that's the key. It'll take time for the public to get used to using it, but once they do, I think they'll become very accustomed to it, and they'll appreciate it.
I appreciate you sending me that information yesterday, but my question as I talked to you this morning was about the back end. I wanted the back end side of it, more information on how it would be distributed, and if it stays open until that line item, until that is resolved, and then if there's a way to follow up to make sure with that person that it was resolved.
Yes, and here's how that'll happen. As the manager of the county, is kind of what my role is here. I'll be an administrator on this account, as will Mr. Price. He'll get these texts, and we'll probably make Ross, since he deals with our tech here in this county. The three of us will get these. We'll be able to correspond to the people making the text, and once we've decided it's an actual issue and not a bogus issue, then we can assign that. We can tag the district, and we can tag the appropriate department head or the appropriate crew to deal with it, and it will be an open issue between me, you, if it's 4th District, and the tree crew, for instance. It'll stay an open issue until that's resolved, but we'll be able to see the time lapse from when it was reported, and hopefully we'll be able to deal with these issues within 48 hours. If not, then we'll get flagged and say this is still open, needs to be solved, and so we can stay on that. Contrary to what we have now, we've got people call in, and it's up to the person that receives the call to follow up with it, make a call to the road department or the animal shelter, and then follow back up again. It's just it's a clumsier way, the way we're doing it now, as opposed to this. It'll be a lot cleaner, a lot quicker, and we'll be able to see at a glance what's still open and what's not open. I just think it's gonna be a great management tool to help us deal with issues.
In an emergency situation, like a storm comes through and there's lots of trees down, would somebody be monitoring this?
Yes,
Because this would probably take over as the number one way of communicating. So somebody would have to be monitoring this system during an emergency, like a windstorm or ice storm or.
we
or
absolutely
snow.
will. It'll come, like I said, to the 3 or 4, however many administrators we want to put on this account. It will come to our phones, and we'll deal with it right now, Mark, whenever we have a crisis like you're talking about. It's telephone, and it's email, and it's Facebook, and it's trying to leave a voice message. And it's just, there's no accountability and follow-up in that, because you don't know who's working on what issue. Now, with this program, it'll be assigned, and you'll know exactly who's working on it and who needs to report it being complete.
One of the problems I've always had is finding out how to get closure on these things that'll tell us. Because a lot of times I have to make a trip back out to where the issue was to find out if we've got the finished product done.
Yeah, truly, I mean, with technology, this is the way to go, and it's happening everywhere now, this with AI and these type of platforms. But it's just gonna be a management tool that just allows us to just step up our game a little bit and help the public.
So we can approve this contract for 2 years, and 2 years from now, it'll come back before us. It won't be an automatic renewal.
It'll come back, and I would say just,
It renews automatically for 1-year periods. If you want to cancel it at the end, before the 2 years, it's a 60-day notice requirement. But after the 2 years, it renews automatically annually for 1 year.
Motion to go into it, I think.
Second.
we have a motion by Strunk and a second by Wheeldon. Is there any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have a commercial lease with the Lake Cumberland Health Department. This is one that has been in place a while, needs to be renewed. Martin, you have had an opportunity to review this?
Yep, I prepared this, and it's a 20-year lease for $1 a year. The old lease, and Joan knows more about it than I do probably, but the old lease was entered into between the county and the health department. They spent a substantial amount of money fixing the building. I think the old lease, they were required to spend like $400,000. So this new lease is for $1 a year for the next 20 years. And they still have to maintain it and so forth, and carry liability insurance. Of course, the county will still have to insure the building itself because you own it.
We would need
Motion to approve?
Second.
a motion by Strunk, a second by Wilson.
I had one
Discussion?
question. I just want to make sure, and I asked Joan about this yesterday. So they're responsible for the parking lot, the building, everything, maintaining that for 20 years?
Yes. Well, they're responsible for maintaining the structure and the parking lot. If there's some kind of storm comes along and tears the thing down, then the county would have,
insurance.
Yeah.
your insurance would kick in on that.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next then, we have a vacancy on our library board, and the committee has submitted 2 names for approval. I would like to recommend that we appoint Ms. Lori Phelps to a 4-year appointment on the library board.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Turpin, second by Ranshaw. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next then, we'll get into our department reports. We've got road work request. I don't know if there's any speed limit signs, speed limit changes rather. I didn't see any. And if not, we would entertain a motion to approve the road work request as a whole.
Motion.
Wilson,
Second.
second by Turpin. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Then we've got a request to get 3,000 tons of rock, road department.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Wilson, second by Ranshaw. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And then we've got a request to get 5,000 gallons of total patch oil.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion by Wilden, second by Turpin. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I don't think Mr. Price is with, or Ryan Price is with us, is he? No.
No.
He contacted me this morning. I just want to throw out to the court if you'd like to do this. That he's found a used paver up in Danville. He said it's a 2005 model. And he said we could purchase that. Right now it's for sale for $19,000. Basically, we've got the total patcher. It's good for doing certain things, but for instance, Paradise Acres is the one he threw out. He said this paver would be ideal for that. We'd be able to do big sections of road, you know, with some of the hot mix we're going through, because I know Hinkle does some work for us in this regard, and I think LB Taylor does some work for us in this regard, but during busy season, they're not always available when we need them, but to have this paver would give us a little flexibility in getting some of these trouble spots taken care of. But I wanted y'all to think about it because it's a $19,000 purchase, and I did not talk to Joan about that because I just found out about it this morning. But I didn't know if you all would be interested in doing that, or if you want to
Well,
see if it'll hold out for 2 more weeks and wait on it. I don't know if it'll be around or not.
Frank, take a look at it for mechanical wise, since he'll be the one working on it if it goes down, so.
You know how we're gonna pull it around?
What about employee-wise too? I mean, we
Yeah.
can't get enough employees to run our total patcher.
What about a tack? Got an oil tack tank to go with it?
Well, that's why I wanted to throw it out here to see if y'all wanted to try to pursue this or not, so.
I think
We're looking at it for a minute. There's more dollars than just the machine. Is it a propane or is it diesel?
I would assume it's diesel.
What model is it?
2005, I thought you said.
That's probably propane.
I think we need more information and a plan on how to use it.
Can you tow it around behind a truck or has it got to be put on a trailer?
I think they all tow, don't they?
I know they've been asking for one. I know they would like to have one at the road department to help. They said that 100 tons of blacktop that we get every month will go farther with this machine.
Yeah.
So I think we need to look at purchasing one, but we need to have a plan in place to be able to use it.
We didn't use, well, we can, obviously, we always look at opportunities to expand and improve the work that all of our agencies do, but there's more to it than just purchasing a piece of machine in whatever county. We need to look at budgeting,
Mm-hmm.
because July 1, we start a new budget. So not only do we need to budget for the paver, probably a tack. We used to have a tack, oil tanker, because that's the most crucial thing to make asphalt last, is proper preparation.
So more research probably needs to be done.
Could we maybe get a hold on that piece of equipment till we do more research?
I mean, they've got it actively for sale, so somebody will end up buying it probably. We'll have to go back to the search.
But we just don't need to rush into buying a piece of equipment without a plan.
Fair enough. I just wanted to relay that to you all. He said he found that this morning. We will move on then. Management,
Let me ask a question before we do. What's this tanking thing? What would be our artificial cost for that?
Well, here's the thing. We had, I think, 2014, and Mr. Wilson, Mr. Strunk, you were here before, because we used to do a lot of co-patch, co-mix, and we had 2 or 3,000 gallon tanks. That tank could be at excess in days market, depending on the size. Kind of like a water truck that you see going up down the road, a single axle flatbed, probably 19, 20, 25,000. And that doesn't account for a truck to haul it on. That's just the tank. And I'm all about it, but there's a whole lot more than just price of a paver, because the big question that come up is who's gonna operate it.
How many people do you need to have a crew to do this?
Well, you'd have to have a CDL driver and a backup CDL driver, because the issue is now if someone's off, how our system works. So there'll be 2 CDL drivers and probably three laborers. Then you have an operator that would operate the machine. So 2 CDL drivers and an operator, and probably a couple laborers. Now that's one truck to pull the machine to get to where you're going. Then you gotta have to have a paver. Then you gotta have a truck to haul the asphalt to. So that's 3 CDL drivers, operator, maybe, because you've ever seen them operate, they move back and forth on that machine. A paver is an operator, and probably 3 laborers hauling a rake and stuff behind the machine.
And a roller.
And a roller. I mean, it sounds great in theory.
Takes a lot of people to do it.
It certainly does.
And with the new CDL qualifications, that's going to be more and more difficult to find licensed CDL drivers. Because that's going to be that's going to be a cost-intensive purpose to get a CDL driver trained with all the new qualifications.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to see us really get this total patcher running every day.
It's up, they've got it. They had to extensively clean the tank, because as that thing set and people been off and this and that, we probably lost 500 gallon worth of material, but it's up going. They delivered product last week, and so I think they're supposed to be going through the truck and the trailer, Frank and Danny, the total patch machine, making sure everything's going on it. Is that done yet? Working on it. So they're still working on it.
Yeah, because I was told the truck was broke.
So that should be going full throttle. When's that, Frank? Today. So full throttle tomorrow.
Right.
Good deal.
Aaron, do you want to come up here? You've got a few things for us.
Judge, we'll have to go in executive session on this SRT building.
Morning.
You want to do that now or wait?
Let's wait and do it at the end of the meeting. That way people can get back to work if they like.
Morning. Tateville Fire Department is looking to purchase some equipment. Benji, if you want to speak on what equipment you're wanting to purchase.
Right. What Tateville Fire Department's wanting to do is we're wanting to surplus a 1999 F-350 pickup truck. And what we would like to ask the court to do is to apply that surplus to the purchase of new equipment that we're getting ready to purchase as well. As you all know, over the years, your extrication tools and things like that, you've got to upgrade that. So what we are getting ready to do, and also what I'd like to ask the court to do today as well, is to put out for bid of new extrication equipment. So that's pretty much what we're wanting to do. We'll put out for surplus a 1999 F-350 pickup truck.
So we
And
need to
then
do that
also
first, right?
do that first, and then
Motion to surplus.
Second.
We have a motion by Strunk, second by Wilson.
We need to probably, on that, make it a motion to surplus and to hold those funds for Tateville. So it doesn't go back in that,
correct.
correct?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that that's what the motion needs to be,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay.
So is that your motion? You know that, Alicia? All right. So is there any further discussion? I would just ask this now, do they have funds set aside to
Yes.
finish the purchase?
sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
You got a description of the truck that you can give Alicia?
I do.
Got the VIN and everything, right?
And I'll give you the specifications for the new equipment as well. I'll work that out with whoever we need to.
And how do you plan on disposing of the surplus
That part of it is what I've worked out with, you all are gonna surplus the truck through the fiscal court, and then basically, I guess they'd put it out for bid, or put it out for surplus. Gov deals,
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I needed to know, how you wanted to dispose of it.
right.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries, and then his, second request then to bid the extrication equipment.
Yes.
Motion.
Second. Motion by Ranshaw, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
You wanna do yours? If you don't mind, we got 6 other vehicles I'd like to surplus also. Alicia's got a list of them.
Can you read them all?
Yep, it's a 2007 Chevrolet van, it's the coroner's office, there's a 97 Isuzu, 97 International, and then there's 3 trailers of recycle centers.
So those will go in the general fund, or how would that where would that money go?
They belong to the county, right? So,
Yes, it would, I just want to make sure you want me to explain this.
I just need to make sure that the money's going to the general fund, or does it need to go back to that department?
It goes where?
It will go back to the department.
Okay.
What kind of trailers?
They're dry van trailers, there's 2 45-foot ones and 1 48-foot one.
Motion to surplus?
Second.
Motion by Strunk, second by Wilden. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you all. Next then, the jailer, like to speak on your contract here?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
The first thing on the list is the Kinetic phone system contract through Windstream. What we ran into is we had some phone issues at the jail, and when we contacted Windstream, the phone system we have now is obsolete, and they no longer service it. So if we have to buy new equipment or whatever, they don't even sell the equipment anymore. They have switched over now to this Kinetic system, is the system that they service, and where we can get equipment. I had them to give us a quote on what the system would cost. If we do a 60-month term, y'all should have a contract on it. If we do a 60-month term, our current spending is $1,106.67 plus taxes and fees a month. With the new system, the new contract bid would be $625 a month, plus taxes and fees, of course, with the savings of $481.67, which would be a total savings of $28,900.20 over the 60 months. So I would like for you all to consider allowing us to go into a 60 months lease with this new system. If we
Motion.
go ahead.
Sorry. Motion. We're saving money.
We're saving money.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Wilden. Any further, or was that Turpin?
No.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Now, I already discussed with him this morning that any equipment that breaks down, they'll replace for free, right?
Yes, that's correct. And under the old system, we'd had to purchase the equipment.
I thank you for taking the time to go
That's
over
no
that.
problem.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Are any opposed? Motion carries.
The second thing is as we start our work programs back up again, and this will come out of either our commissary or grant fund, which will be no cost to my budget. But anyway, would like to have permission to bid a pre-owned crew cab pickup. We'd prefer a diesel, either $350, $3,500, or something equivalent to that. I'd like to have your all's permission to bid that.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Wilson, and second by Ranshaw. We have further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
One other thing that, I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
not on the agenda, as you all know, especially with all the abundance of rain that we've had lately, we've had a lot of trash that have been pushed along the roadside. Danny and I watched a demonstration the other day of it's a litter vacuum, which is a pretty neat system. It can go in the bed of a pickup or be towed on a trailer. It has a hose, and they just walk down the side of the road, and it will pick the litter up. I would like to have your all's permission to bid one of those also.
Yeah. Motion to bid.
Who made the motion here? I heard three. Motion by Wilden, second by Strunk. Any further discussion?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, thank you all for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Jalen.
Thank you.
Next then will be solid waste. Danny?
It's the time of year for us to apply for all of our grants, so I have 4 separate grants to ask permission for, so I need to do that separately, I guess. First grant I need permission to apply for is our 2022-23 recycle grant.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Wilden, second by Ranshaw. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
The second is the 2022-23 composting grant.
Motion.
Motion by Ranshaw,
Second.
second by Turpin. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The third is the rubber modified asphalt grant. I'm going to apply for it again this year.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ranshaw, second by Strunk. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And the last of the grants is the Land and Water Conservation Fund 2022 grant.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Wilden, second by Wilson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
The last thing I'll bring to everyone's attention this morning is our waste tire collection event that we host every 3 years with the cooperation of the Division of Waste Management is coming up on April 7th, 8th, and 9th. We've got information out and flyers that's for all Kentucky residents to drop. That'll be held at the Kentucky District 8 Department of Highways Maintenance Garage over off of Refinery Road. So we had a little over 58,000 tires dropped off 3 years ago, so we're one of the largest counties in getting waste tires removed. So it's a great opportunity to get those tires off of any properties, anybody's body of land that's come up with some tires on that. You can bring as many tires as you can on and off the rims. And then also in April, we have a lot of cleanups coming up. We'll have our Somerset Pulaski County Clean Sweep. We have our Operation Beautification program, our 3-bag challenge for our students to get out and clean up the community. We have our Household Hazardous Waste Day. So April's a big month coming up for us. Thanks.
Thanks, Danny. Next then, fleet maintenance. Frank, you have a contract to get.
This is a service contract we do every year on our backup generators for the fire department. It's $9,300. It's up $800 over last year. And then there's a semi-annual that we do that's $2,600, and it's $200 higher than last year.
necessary to
renew
do
this.
semi-annual?
Yeah, 'cause
Or
we don't,
just do the annual right before winter or something?
pardon me?
Is it necessary to do the semi-annual, or is it just better off doing the annual right before winter?
Well, they got like a 6-month maintenance that they're supposed to do on them, and they do knock that out during that semi-annual.
Is it $2,600 on the semi-annual? Is it $2,600 each time or just the one
No,
time?
the $2,600
For
covers.
the whole year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'd be-
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Strunk, second by Ranshaw. Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Got our sheriff in attendance today. That's usually a good sign.
This time of year. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have a check here this morning. All of the sheriff's office accounts for 2021 have been reconciled, and this is our final installment on our reconciliation funds that we turn over to the court every year. So I've got a check for $79,104.33.
Motion.
Second.
A motion by Wheeldon and a second by Strunk to accept this excess fees check. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that in the past 7 years, this brings our total to roughly $1.25 million that we've remitted in excess fees from the sheriff's office to the court for their general fund.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
all.
Thank you, sir.
Right. We've got Miss Linda Burnett, the county clerk. You guys also got something similar, it looks like.
Looks like she's walking better, too.
Oh, yes. No pain. Thank you, Court, and good morning. We have had a tremendous year. Pulaski County is really blessed, and I tell this every time I think I get up here, how blessed we are with people in the community and all they provide for us. And then in turn, we kind of pay back to them in the fees that we turn over. And with the sheriff and myself, that's always a good thing. And I appreciate everything you all have done, because without the court here, we couldn't function. And before I even get into all this, I would like to thank my staff, because we have really tremendously just worked hard. And it's been a challenge since 2020 with all the COVID and all the changes, and it's just been a really big challenge in our office to be able to function like we have. And I feel blessed and fortunate to give over this amount of excess fees that my office did not use. And with that, I will tell you that the amount is $1,477,814.77.
Amen.
Awesome.
Is that a record?
A record, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I've got 3 checks here to give to Joan to compensate for that. And again, thank you, and I appreciate every one of you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
And I would like to say one other thing. Our branch office is almost complete. We could have probably opened it this time, sometime this month, but I chose the middle of April because March is such a huge month for my office. We're just so busy. And then with April coming up with boats and all that, and then you got the little late people that are on for March and the beginning of April. So I chose that mid-April would be a good time to open that branch office up. And I'd just like to thank all of you for providing us that, Judge and Dan and all the fiscal court members here, because I think it's going to be a tremendous asset to our county.
Oh, I do, too.
Thank you, Linda.
People are
You are
looking forward to it.
And it's exciting.
Yes, it is.
And I
Yes,
know
it
the
is.
people, I know they would rather go through the drive-through in today's time. They just stay productive on their phones, doing whatever
Oh,
business they
yes.
gotta do and go through the drive-through. So it's a big convenience for our people, and
Yes.
they will enjoy it.
And with that 3 drive-throughs, I think that will help huge amount with, depending on what we do up here with the one drive-through. It's gonna be more work, so, I think my staff can handle all that. But anyway, I do appreciate all of you, and thank you, and have a great day, too.
Glad your surgery went well.
Yes, yes, I am walking better, and I think I'm getting a little bit back to my old self, whatever that might be.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, ma'am. I love it.
And, brings us into our treasurer report.
Needless to say, I'm very excited
did.
after getting that,
Thought we did, didn't we?
We didn't, I don't think.
We didn't, I guess we need a motion to,
Motion to accept.
Second.
a motion by Strunk and a second by Ranshaw to accept, clerk's expense fees. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries.
like I said, I'm very happy today. Thank you, Linda, Jennifer, Sam, love it. Sheriff, love it. Always a good day when we get good money. But now, we have to spend money. So we have the bill list for the month of March.
Looks like it takes every bit of that check.
Yeah, it does.
Motion.
And before we go through that motion, you'll notice that there was an add-on. We had some monthly payments that we had in error forgot, so we wanted to catch those up and get those on our bill list also. So there are two bill lists, basically.
Got a motion by Wilson,
Second.
second by Strunk. Is there any further discussion?
I do.
Yes.
First of all, I want to thank Joan for emailing me the bill list every
Everything.
month, and the bank, now the bank reconciliation, so I have plenty of time to go through everything. But I'm still voting no against this bill list, because we still have not received to this court a plan and a budget for the coroner's office. So, still gonna vote no until we get that plan.
Understand?
We've got a motion. Did we get a second? We did, didn't we?
Did we even get a motion on the bill list?
Yes, we got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
And with the split vote, let's please take roll call.
Turpin,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wilden,
Yes.
Ranshaw,
No.
Strunk.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you all.
Also, we have the bank reconciliation for the month of February.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ranshaw,
Second.
second by Wilden. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
And if I may, I would like to send a big good luck and a shout out to the Southwestern Lady Warriors, who will be playing in their their back-to-back state championship tomorrow. Wish them good luck, because I've watched all these girls play since they've been in first grade. And good luck to the Pulaski County Maroons tonight, who are playing for their 12th region championship. So we might have two teams going to state from one county. Awesome. So good luck to all.
Good luck. It's exciting. All right, we need to go back and revisit the SRT building. I think we've decided that we need to stay in open court to discuss this. So, Aaron, if you want to come, were you the one doing the SRT? I'm sorry, was it Frank? Aaron was.
Aaron, Frank, somebody here.
Trying to think who you brought up originally.
2, 3. Pass these around to everybody else.
And what we've done, we've had several meetings after the fire that consume the SRT building, but we've finally met with insurance, and we've negotiated, we've met with the architects, we've met with the contractor that was awarded the bid, and we've come to what we believe is gonna be a solution that lets us move forward with this building. I'm gonna let whoever would like to lead this discussion.
Let me start. So,
Yeah.
let's keep them all in here. If you'll see, let's start with this Excel spreadsheet right here from DBI. And,
Thank you.
Deco Architects has worked tremendously, and I can't say enough about Derek and his team, but, so, now, when I say DBI, this claim with the SRT building got way beyond the original scope because how the economy and the market has changed because of the COVID, because of supply and demand, okay? So there's a great big difference. In simple terms, if you go out to buy a roll of wire or a 2x4 or a 4x8 piece of price have went up, you know. For example, a 50-foot roll of electric wire, 12-2, used to be $50, $24. Now it's $100, almost $200 and some dollars, okay? So the original estimate was $600, Derek, fill in the blanks there, insurance willing to give us $600 and some thousand.
Yes, sir. Yes, I don't have the exact number, but that's correct.
I think $657,000, and this is just in common language. And so, but when we took bids, it's $1.5 million, 1.5, 1.4 million. And our insurance company, which they do a great job, KCO does a great job, said, whoa, we gotta look at this for a minute. Because when the building burnt, and what had occurred because of the pandemic, there was something that happened. Well, they didn't realize when you go out and price new work, prices have changed, okay? So we've been in negotiation, nights and weekends, Mark, for emergency services. Now, so DBI just last week, that's the baby blue. That's the baby blue in this spreadsheet, DBI, which is an underwriter part of KCO. They've changed the original from $650-some thousand to 1.5 and some change million dollars.
Yes.
Is what the insurance will pay us to rebuild the building.
$1.5 million.
Yeah, that's how much. Because if you look out here and the differences in the next column is just how much electric, water, plumbing, just common sense stuff have went up. Just if you go down there at Lowe's or anywhere and buy it, price have changed.
No, for sure.
Yeah. Now, so we had a meeting last week, even through the weekend, even finalizing today with Branscombe, the only contractor that met all requirements. And so what you're looking with Branscombe Construction is a contract, which if you read at the bottom, this thing will keep moving 15% because materials are still going up. What else?
I think you covered it. I think you covered it well. There is some gap between the insurance offer and the final number, and we have some itemized deductions that we can take to look at. But at the end of the day, what we are proposing to the court is we would like to engage a contract with Branscombe for the insurance offer amount, and then should SRT choose to add anything beyond that, it would come out of their fund and it would be on their side of things. But we are proposing to you to allow us to draft a contract between Branscombe Construction and the county and get that to your board attorney for review to move forward with engaging Branscombe on the contract. And in our defense, we don't want to be perceived as architect got carried away and designed too much of a building, and why did the insurance think it was 700 and why is it 1.5? Honestly, there are no frills to this building. It's a very utilitarian, and as Mr. Price laid out, really that's kind of the story to it. There are a few nuances, as in the insurance company wanted us to leave foundations, and we couldn't leave foundations. We need to build them fresh. There were some things like that, but at the end of the day, it's really driven by the economy and just the current reality of construction.
Do we have a photo of this new building, or?
So I didn't bring the full set. We did a full set of plans and put this out, you know, as it was a public bid, but I brought in a bridge set. So this is the rendering. This has not been made public yet, but should you bless this, Doug has asked that we put it public. But this is essentially, we're building the building back, largely how it was. Again, there's a few nuances. The old building was a pre-engineered steel building, and then there was a wood add-on to the back. So instead of overcomplicating it, we're just going to do one pre-engineered building. So, you know, in our mind, we simplified it. But we're going back with a pre-engineered kind of building. The only, you know, extravagant details to it are we're putting a band of brick along the bottom just to kind of dress the front elevation up. But beyond that, you know, this is garage doors and kind of a practical facility.
Okay. So in summary, you want to,
I think they're wanting you to stand by the microphone for the benefit of the public out there in,
in summary, insurance company's going to give us 1.509687 million. And you want to go in a contract with Branscombe for that amount. And then anything above that amount, it would be up to Hazmat to pay any additional out of their income.
Okay, let me clarify that. If you look at items 21 through 30, this is your spreadsheet. Okay? Those are voluntary upgrades. So the difference is, if you take the voluntary upgrades out, that will lessen 105.9, because it's voluntary. You will go back up, and the contract will be what, 1.3 or 1.4, some change?
The final insurance offer, Dan, was 1,377,320.
What was that number again?
1,377,320. $1,377,320. What we are requesting is that you allow us to go to contract for $1,376,800. So that's $520 less than the insurance offer. But what we're trying to do is take the itemized list from Branscombe of values and to hit the insurance number as closely as possible. And then we've created a menu of, if SRT chooses to get back to the 1.5, they have a menu of items that they can select to get back to it.
Not leaving much room for change.
Yeah, and then the voluntary grant is if money's available, because see, we're still working through the contents. And Mark, what that means is, in layman terms, if you're building a 13,000 square foot building, and you're trying your best to put 2 handicap accessible bathrooms in this building, and you only write a contract where the plumbing will be in one corner, but ideally in another corner, you want facilities, we don't want you to come back and cut that slab of concrete to put the plumbing in. So we're trying to get a contract as is, but then also that will allow for voluntary upgrades as monies are found.
And where would we find this money?
It supposedly, in the contents that we have not, that Joan and I are working through, what SRT has bought and what they haven't done, and then there's supposedly a couple $100,000 more content check on its way.
I think me and Joan talked
Didn't you and I speak of that yesterday?
We talked about that yesterday, but I just wanted to make sure that
Which part?
the content side of it.
We're
We
gonna-
talked about the whole.
We're gonna get the
We
best.
didn't talk about this, but we talked about the
Hey,
insurance.
I've
money.
always prided myself in fiscal court. We're gonna get the best we can for volunteers, whether it be SRT, from all the way from the sheriff's office to EMS, the EOC and 911 dispatchers. We're gonna give the best to them, if we can, with your authority.
So we should not have to take out any bonds or anything for
No.
this building.
We will, no.
Nope.
That's good news.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's actually, very well okay.
Oh, everything, great, thank you.
I just want to make sure we got the details down pat.
Yes.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Actually, two questions. Dan mentioned something, and you might be able to answer it also, that it will increase. But once we go under contract, it cannot increase. Am I correct?
It will probably, if there's money allowed. And the question that will be.
Explain that.
Okay, for example, we required, when we advertised the bond, the bid bond was, cost the contractor $30,000. If fiscal court will release them of the bond capacity, then that would put automatic savings underneath 103 that they can put towards some of these voluntary upgrades.
You lost me there, Dan.
Yeah, me too.
What,
Say that again.
explain that a little better there.
Layman terms, please.
Mention bond again, and you lost
All
every
right,
one
so
of us.
if I'm gonna build a building for fiscal court,
Mhm.
see, so you all give me a contract, okay? And Derek, you chime in, cause you're real good about this, but just let me just open the door up and let this cow out here. So, you're gonna give me a contract for $100,000, whatever it is, just throwing out numbers, Janie, don't want, just. So, what if I go out of business? Who's gonna pay to finish the project? That's the purpose of the bond.
You're talking
is
an insurance
insurance
bond,
bond.
not a
Not,
finance
we're taking a
bond.
Yeah,
bond.
not a finance bond.
Okay,
That's
insurance bond.
insurance bond.
That bond, right.
And letting of the contract, it does not allow Branscombe not to be obligated to the contract because they're still obligated, but it does help save $30,000, for example, because they had to get assurance bond, errors of omission bond to put towards this contract. Those are things that I can't answer without your all's authority.
I say we go into contract with Branscombe and get it going.
So if the contract goes up,
The monies will be there before it goes up.
that's what I asked you, and you said it could go up without, once we sign contract, you said it could go up.
No, it will, if the monies are there, it probably will go up, but we gotta make sure the monies are there.
So
We
the
can't
The
really
voluntary
count.
upgrades, he's talking about that would happen later.
Oh, I'm talking leaving the upgrades off, because that was my next question. As far as the upgrades are concerned, can we make sure that SRT, or that every insurance, as far as the court goes and SRT goes, all our insurance, for contents, that everything that they need has been purchased before they agree to upgrades with money that they may not have?
Okay. So.
Did that make sense to anybody? Because it kind of didn't to me now.
So the last time that I was here and we met about this was when this went out to bid the first time. Since then, we do have an increase for $13,500 just because, and I think that's very reasonable. You
I
have a
get it.
$1.5 million project and it's only went up that much.
I get it. I
But
get that.
As we all know, everything is tick, 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 tick. So there is a certain amount of pressure on us to get this out to contract to alleviate it from further ticks.
Correct.
But once, and Jonathan, if I misrepresent you, speak up. But once we can engage in a contract and get that locked down, that releases them to order everything.
Correct.
Order, and we'll get kind of that pressure relieved to a certain extent. The risk is that what if your architect messed up, or they find something in the field? What if they, hit rock or something happens that was unforeseen, and we have maximized this insurance value in such a way that we don't have any further money to draw from?
Correct.
So that's the risk of the project as it stands.
That's where I was going kind of with that. But I'm saying on the upgrades, the voluntary upgrades
Yes.
that they are asking for, of course, they expect there to be extra money, and this is something, Mark, you and I talked about yesterday. They're expecting there to be money left over from the contents to pay for the upgrades. But I'm afraid that we need to make sure that all the contents that they need have been purchased before they allow to use content money for the upgrades that they want.
I've spoke with Doug Baker this morning. He stated that everything is purchased, ordered, or already there. The only thing he lacks is the.
I got the same email.
So my understanding, everything's been taken care of. Now it's just, I guess, see as the project goes on.
And
If you look at number 17 down here on this Branscombe, Joan, that's what I was referring to. If we don't get this priced as of March the 15th, this entire building can move 15%.
I get it. But I was saying, if we get it under contract, because like, they voted on to go ahead and go into contract, we will be locked in.
Yeah.
That was my making sure.
Yeah, but contents is not just radios and equipment. It also includes second-story drywall, plumbing, contents of the building. They're still finalizing the contents of the building. Meaning
Correct.
if physical court burnt, we're still trying to count the commodes that was run in the fire.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Bite your tongue, don't even say that.
we won't have another meeting before the 15th, so if we approve this today, we're approving, giving the judge the right to go ahead and sign the contract to go ahead and start building. Am I right on that?
Yes, and if you don't, it could very well move 15% between
Right.
now.
Right, that's what I'm just checking.
Yes.
And just for the public knowledge, Branscombe was the only one that turned in the bid, correct?
We
No,
received
no.
two, we
Oh, they were
received
the
two
ones with the
bids.
best, this is the one. with the best.
Branscombe was both the low bid, and we disqualified the other bid because they failed to meet the requirements. So we ran an advertisement, it outlined to turn in a bid bond, et cetera, and they failed to,
Branscombe was the only one that qualified.
that qualified. And also conveniently, they were the low bid, so it was an easy decision. But it was a very, very close bid too. I don't remember exactly, but it was within
It was-
1%, 2%
yeah,
of
it
each
was-
other. So we were pleased that we felt like we had a tight bid group.
So would y'all like to give me permission to go ahead and enter this
Yes.
contract?
Yes.
You know, I'm kind of concerned about this 30,000. I think maybe we ought to leave that locked in.
That what?
Upgrade.
With the bid bond,
Uh-huh.
that's why, that was the question. And I said I couldn't answer that. Derek and I said I couldn't answer that. Now, what's the difference whether they have a bond or they don't? Derek?
Well, I can defer to your attorney, but in,
The what, bid bond?
Yes.
That's your all's call, that's a financial decision.
Well, what's the difference? He
professionally,
asked what the difference was.
Professionally.
I should tell you, yes, take the bid bond. Cynically, if you have legal trouble, the bid bond tends not to do much for you. But again, I'm not an attorney, I'll defer to the attorney.
Sometimes it's like trying to collect on disability insurance, you pay all those premiums. I'm not saying anything bad about disability insurance, but some things are hard, difficult to collect on. I don't know.
You know, if we leave that 30,000 locked in there, then we're automatically gonna get it, or we can work it out.
Yeah, they have errors and omission with the bond capacity, but now, it's just, that's something that was brought up in our meeting, and I said, I can't answer that.
So to spend $30,000 for,
That's in their contract.
that's in their contract.
That's in their contract, Branscome's contract, but
Okay.
that's immediate savings of 30,000 they could put,
Oh, towards the
Project.
volunteer upgrade.
or maybe the building goes up 15%.
I say we leave it in there, if it protects us.
That's what I
So-
think.
If I may, if you choose to leave it, and Mr. Rancho, I see you have that letter there with Branscome's heading at the top. If you'll look at items number 2, 4, 5, 13, and 15. So I'll give you that one more time. 2, 4, 5, 13, and 15. Those are the ones I would recommend that we look to cut out of the base contract. So it's 2, 4, 5, 13, 15. That will take the full value of the contract, which is $1,531,200, If you cut those items out, that gets you down to $1,376,800. That'll put you within $520 of the insurance offer. That's as close as I know how to get it. And then, should we find monies, we can add those back. And if you read those, number 2 is cutting out the finishes on the second floor. We can always do that later. Number 4 is there's a spot where the slab drops, and in our plans we had drawn to fill it to where everything's flush. You can leave the little step, and we can save that money. We can always do it later. So those, that's an easy path to getting this to contract and giving SRT an avenue to get everything they want in the long run.
Go ahead and,
So one more time, 2, 4, 5,
Yes, sir.
and what were the other?
13 and 15.
So we would want to then take a motion to accept this contract with the exclusion of those 5 items.
Where's the exterior slab? You can take that out too.
Exterior slab.
Number 17.
17.
on which, 17 on which sheet, Dan?
No, he's
Well,
on the DBI sheet.
I'm on a DBI because
Oh.
they brought that up in construction. I'm talking about options. And also that little extra little, what do you call it, that little building out front?
Yeah, that one, we got that one with number 5, so that's 45,000.
Okay.
The 2 big, like, anchor savings would be, don't finish the second floor and don't build that security room, and that gets you 75% of the way there. The other ones are kind of knick-knack, reduce the insulation on the doors type.
Patty whack.
So the stuff that we're deleting can be added later,
Yes.
add another year or something like that,
Correct.
depending on what hazmat wants to do in the future.
That's the intention.
Okay.
Derek, Deco, I think you all have done a great job.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much. Well, we're proud to work for you, so we thank you for the opportunity.
The fact that we can replace this building without having to enter into a bond or something like that, that's a great job.
Great, thank you.
I make a motion, we allow that
With the deletions?
with the deletions.
With the option. And options if we do have the money to bring them back.
Huh? Dan's not made any sense today.
Yeah, that's another day. Let's just get this
I mean,
done.
he's just lost
If we
me all
got
day.
extra money, we can vote them to add those.
So if
Good.
it pleases
A
the
motion.
court, we will draft a contract for review.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve letting Branscombe do the construction on review of Martin Hatfield with the contract. And then once Martin Hatfield approves the contract, Steve signs it.
Get all that, Alicia? Have a motion? Do we have,
Yes, I get it.
do we have a second?
I'd second.
Second by Wielden. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, thanks again.
you.
Dan, thank you for all your hard work on this, and also the committee that met, a few times trying to solve this. So I appreciate everybody's hard work on this, and thank you, court, for allowing us to move forward. All right. Well, I believe that's all the business we have. There were no citizens that requested to speak to the court, so we'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Yeah.
Any opposed? Thank you all. Everybody have a great day.